Tonight, we could learn the presumptive nominees for president as well as the top two candidates for California's open Senate seat. 15 states plus the territory of American Samoa are holding nominating contests today for both the Democratic and Republican parties. About a third of all delegates are at stake tonight in the presidential race. As of 6 o'clock tonight, polls have just closed in Minnesota and Tennessee. Voting is also already over in Alabama, Arkansas, Maine, Massachusetts, North Carolina, Oklahoma, Texas, Vermont, and Virginia. But polls are still open right now in Alaska, here in California, Colorado, Utah, and American Samoa. KTVU political reporter Greg Lee has been tracking the results for us, and he joins us now with the latest numbers. Greg.
Yeah, and the focus on the top of the ticket, the Republican primary, as Donald Trump marches towards the Republican nomination. Nikki Haley trying to slow his momentum and see success in a few states with open primaries. Let's take you to the numbers. Polls in the state of Arkansas closed at 5:30 our time, about 8% in. Former President Trump leading Nikki Haley 71 to 23%. On the Democratic side, President Biden nearly swept the state in 2020. He wins that state again easily. So far, 92 to 4%. The state of Texas, the second biggest delegate haul of the night, second only to California. Immigration, border security, a huge issue here and will be in the general election. In the Republican race for president, Trump is leading Haley 75 to 19% thus far. Trump and President Biden both visited the border last week, about 43% in, Biden with a major lead. Former President Trump and President Biden are both expected to have very big nights tonight, but neither can clinch enough delegates to become their party's presumptive nominees. In Oklahoma, Trump lost to Ted Cruz in 2016. No problem for the former president this year. The race called for him by the AP, 82 to 16% so far. On the Democratic side, President Biden cruises to victory in Oklahoma over his long shot competitors. Now, both Republicans and Democrats watching tonight's returns closely.
That means that Nikki Haley is going to face a lot of pressure. Can she stay in? What does that look like? Because by the end of this month, Donald Trump will have sewn up the Republican nomination. You also see a number of votes out there for Joe Biden. What do the uncommitted ballots look like, particularly in a state like Washington or in Minnesota? He'll have the nomination sewn up here pretty quick.
Of course, the biggest delegate haul for both parties here in California. Polls close at 8 p.m. And a reminder, the counting process can be slow. More than 22 million mail-in ballots were sent out. They can be postmarked by today and received within 7 days. County elections officials have 30 days to verify results. The first sets of results released just after 8 o'clock tonight. Those will be early mail-in ballots. Then the subsequent releases will be in-person voting, so we could very well see some shifts in the results and some swings. But certainly a lot of storylines that we are all watching tonight, not just at the top of the ballot, but down ballot as well.
In regards to the California Senate race, I'm curious because there's been a lot of chat about low voter turnout. And if indeed that is the case, does it affect the outcome of the race? Meaning, does one candidate benefit because not as many people actually went to the polls, and does someone maybe not benefit?
Yeah, so what you see in low turnout typical is that you see voters who vote every year, and they tend to trend more conservative, they tend to be whiter, they tend to be older. That certainly benefits the likes of Republican Steve Garvey in this tight Senate race. But what we've been saying today is early turnout was low. We could see it be slow now because we could see more people that wanted to vote on Election Day. So it will certainly be a question of who comes in the top two. Will it be a Dem on Dem, or will it be a Democrat versus Republican, which is what Adam Schiff, the leader of this and was likely the anointed one for a long time, will he get what he wants because he's been lifting up Steve Garvey all this time?
He wants him in the race.
Will it be him in November, because that might be an easy one for him come November?
Okay, when we look at the top of the ticket, the presidential races, not a lot of suspense right now. We pretty much know it's going to probably be former President Trump versus Biden. What's at stake for President Biden on a night like this? And how crucial is the State of the Union address coming up on Thursday?
Well, the State of the Union is certainly the launch of his general election campaign. He will hit a lot of topics. He'll hit Ukraine. He'll hit Israel. He'll hit the border. And so these are things that he needs to be aware of and how he crafts his message to reach voters. His campaign certainly watching those exit polls. They're wanting to see how he does with young voters. And is there anything to glean from turnout? Did young people come to vote today if they voted uncommitted over conservative concerns with Israel and Gaza. How do they adjust their message so that they can carry the coalition into November? Because what we have seen in polls when Biden and Trump go head to head is that Trump is leading in many of these important swing states. So Biden cannot afford to lose any of his support, especially with young people. So he will need to look at what happens tonight. What are the issues that mobilize voters? We know abortion rights are key, especially with women. So certainly these are things that the campaign will look at, convey, and see how they can
You say swing state a lot on North Carolina. A lot of talk about North Carolina, a state that Donald Trump won.
And it has been red for so long, but now is going to be a battleground state and very well has the chance to be.
And before we let you go, I was going to ask about Nikki Haley. She said she was vowing to stay on, to hang on until today. Is this her last stand?
I think it is her last stand because she has to do well. She has to be competitive. Now, the question is, will she continue to see donors and money? She stayed in this long because people have been supportive of her. The money has been there, and she has seen great support from college-educated voters, independent voters, moderate voters, and she has said that is why she is staying in, because those are people who have supported her. And that could be, depending on what we see tonight, warning signs for former President Trump if those voters say, if it's not Haley, I'm out. I'm not voting in November. So both candidates, both potential nominees as we approach November, they have a lot to think about coming out of tonight.
I was just going to say, crossing the wire, AP calling Arkansas for Donald Trump tonight. So the results continue to come in. All right, Greg, appreciate it.
Thank you, Greg.
Two other big races to watch in tonight's primary are the two open Bay Area congressional seats. No matter if she moves on, and the California Senate race, Barbara Lee's congressional seat is indeed up for grabs. Representative Lee has endorsed Latifah Simon to be her predecessor. She has served on the BART Board of Directors and has also picked up endorsements from Governor Newsom and Attorney General Rob Bonta. And the Vice Mayor of the city of Alameda, Tony Desog, is also a front runner in this race. In Silicon Valley, voters are deciding on who will replace retiring Congresswoman Anna Eshoo. The three frontrunners in that race, former San Jose Mayor Sam Liccardo, Assemblyman Evan Lowe, and Santa Clara County Supervisor Joe Simidian. The top two candidates move on to the November general election. California voters also have one statewide ballot proposition on today's ballot. Prop 1 would allow the state to borrow $6.4 billion to use to build mental health and substance abuse treatment facilities. It would also build supportive housing for the homeless. The proposition has the support of Governor Newsom, law enforcement, as well as many first responders. Opponents, though, do question the constitutionality of the measure as well as its cost.
In other local races, 7 state Senate seats and 15 state Assembly seats are on Bay Area voters' ballots, as well as several county supervisor seats. Other big races to watch tonight include 7 different propositions in San Francisco, the most contentious of which is Proposition E, which would give expanded powers to San Francisco police. It would also reduce the powers of the Citizen Police Oversight Commission. The other hot-button issue in the city is Proposition F, which would require adults without dependents on welfare to be screened for illegal drug use. And